20 signs of health anxiety you should not ignore, coming from a health anxiety survivor. I recovered. Let's dive into this. Number one, Googling your symptoms. This is the biggest mistake we make, especially in the beginning when we experience a new anxiety symptoms. We do all the research, right? We spend hours and hours and hours. The problem with this, guys, we have anxiety symptoms because we are negative thinkers and we catastrophize. So whatever horrible stuff that's going to be at the top, which all the horrible stuff is going to be at the top, we are going to assume that we have that disease. There were tons of times where I would look at an actual article, I'd go through the symptoms, halfway through the article already exhibited like 5 of the 7 symptoms I was reading through. Number 2, you always check your vitals, your blood pressure, your blood sugar, your oxygen levels, right? Your heart rate. You're using a watch, a blood pressure machine, a pulse monitor, right? You need to give these things to somebody that loves you and tell them to keep it from you, to hide it, or to throw it away or sell it to somebody until you are past your anxiety, your heart anxiety, your cardiophobia, your health anxiety, whatever type of anxiety you're dealing with. These things are going to hold you back. These are mixed signals to the subconscious. If you want to accept that you're healthy and that you're good and the doctor hasn't instructed you to check your vitals, you have to stop doing it to get the subconscious to believe that you are healthy. When you're checking your pulse and your blood pressure all day, you're confirming to your subconscious that the symptoms are needed because you are a heart patient by your behavior. Number 3 is unhealthy body scanning. It's okay to look over yourself every few weeks, right? It's good to be smart. It's good to make sure that you're healthy. If you have anything of concern, go get it checked out by a doctor. But people with health anxiety are actually doing this all throughout the day. In the shower, when you go to the bathroom and you're looking at yourself in the mirror, sitting on the couch, constantly scanning for something, often making something bigger out of something that's been there. Has that always been there? Probably so. But you're seeing it for the first time because you're now hyper aware and focused of everything on your body, and you're looking over your body right now more than you ever have in the past. Is this mole cancer? Are my eyes dilated? Am I losing hair faster than I used to? Do I have more weight or less weight than I did a few days ago? Number 4 is constant ER visits. Some of you are living at the ER. They know you on a first and last name basis. I'm talking about the staff, the nurses, and the doctors. Even whenever I wasn't at the ER, guys, I would even spend the night sometimes at the ER in case I was going to have a heart attack so I could crawl in through the doors to get some immediate help rather than be miles away and have to call an ambulance, all right? So you are seeking reassurance. The problem is you're looking for constant reassurance. Reassurance when it comes to anxiety is like a drug. You want more of it because your tolerance gets higher. Number 5 is constant testing. You get all the testing that you need for the particular set of symptoms that you're dealing with, which is smart, by the way. You need your initial reassurance. Whenever I'm talking about constant testing, you do all the testing that you can get, and then you go back and you do it all again. Or you get past this set of symptoms, you get your initial reassurance for more tests for a new set of symptoms, and then you go back and do that again. Some of you are going to different cities, seeing different doctors just so you can get the same test a month later, 2 months later, as if so much is going to change in such a short amount of time. Number 6, many of you are actually scared to go to the doctor. This would happen to me whenever I would feel something for the first time. I would be so terrified to go find out that I had cancer or a heart problem, even though I've been dealing with health anxiety and I always get told that I'm healthy. So what did I do? I would wait to go to the doctor because I couldn't bear to find out that there was something wrong with me. Meanwhile, my symptoms got worse. I had no concrete or initial reassurance from a professional doctor that I was healthy, so my symptoms got worse. So even whenever I would go and get checked out, it was a habit of the subconscious and mind to keep sending me these symptoms. By delaying it, guys, you will prolong the amount of time that you deal with these symptoms. It's a win-win if you go to the doctor anyways, guys. Either you're going to find out that you have something, you can actually get treated and it can save your life, or you're going to get initial reassurance that this is anxiety and you can move towards acceptance. Number 7, you stop trusting the doctor. You go get your testing done. You get told that you're healthy. You go back home. You sit on the couch, right? You're chilling. Your heart rate takes off again. You're like, uh-oh, they must be missing something. I must be being misdiagnosed because there's no way that I'm healthy if I'm feeling these things, especially if I'm relaxed. I'm not even stressed or anxious right now. So you start to distrust the doctor and what the doctor's telling you. Number 8, you push, right? You poke. You rub the areas that you have symptoms. I did this for every area of my body that I would have anxiety symptoms. For instance, my chest right here in the middle, whenever I was dealing with my cardiophobia, I would have chest pain. So the middle of my sternum, if I ever lifted my shirt for that period of 2 years, you would see a red mark from just constant comfort rubbing. Those of you that are worried about your lymph nodes, you're pushing and prodding, guys, I'm going to warn you because I've been there and done that. They will swell up from you fiddling with them. Number 9, you have an excessive fear of dying in public. Keyword excessive. Nobody wants to die in public. I'm pretty sure everybody would be nervous or afraid to die in public. But when you have health anxiety, this can be crippling. You stop going to crowded places. You stop going to gatherings, to parties, to social events. It makes it hard at the job place. You are so afraid that you're going to drop dead in front of everybody. Number 10, you have an intense fear of sudden death. And there's all types of different ways of suddenly dying. I was thinking of ways that were natural, of course, like heart attacks or strokes or just sudden cardiac arrest, an aneurysm, something like that. And it doesn't help when you see all these articles and news stories of especially pro athletes, people that are in amazing shape having cardiac arrest or dying, and we start to connect the dots and we're like, oh my God, if this person was amazing and fit and strong and had been doing this their entire life, not realizing, guys, that these people most of the time had a heart defect that was never diagnosed from an early age. But we put 2 and 2 together and we think we have 4, but we don't. We're way off. If it happened to them, it could definitely happen to me, right? So we freak out. This, guys, crippled me so much. It made me so afraid to exercise. Number 11, you have symptoms when you're not even freaking anxious. The most frustrating thing ever. It messes with your acceptance. I can understand being consciously triggered, but I'm not even stressed. I'm doing something that I love. Why is my chest hurting? Why is my head hurting? Why is my stomach hurting? This is happening all the time, and it's chronic in nature. Oh my God, that must mean that there's something wrong with me. Guys, the subconscious does not need your permission consciously to be triggered to send you these messages or send you these symptoms. Number 12, you need constant external reassurance. External, relying on devices, right? To check your pulse, your blood pressure, all your vitals that I discussed earlier. You're constantly needing testing. You're constantly needing to go to the ER. You are constantly needing appointments. You constantly go to the people that you love and trust and ask them, do you think everything's going to be okay? That's all good and great, but again, reassurance, external reassurance is addicting. It's like a drug. Your tolerance goes up. You need more of it. It never fully satisfies you. What you need is internal reassurance, which means you have to be able to tell yourself that you're good, that you're healthy, and that you accept anxiety, and your subconscious eventually trusts that for things to be okay. That's worth more. Number 13, you are looking at the outlook or prognosis and treatment for whatever disease that you fear at the moment. That could be heart disease, cancer, any type of neurological disorder. Anytime I feared a disease and I thought maybe I had this type of cancer, immediately I go to look to see how old does this person tend to live with this cancer? Meaning I'm going to find my age group. How long do they live? What's the overall outlook on this disease? How is it typically treated? It just shows how far we dive deep into these things and how much we can actually make ourselves believe that we have a disease that's actually anxiety. Number 14, you think that you are the smallest statistic, whether it be the smallest statistic to actually get this disease, even though you have all the odds against you actually having that disease from your health, your fitness, to your age, right? To your behaviors. You have a 0.0001% chance to have this disease. Oh my God, I got to be that 0.0001%, right? Which points to us being catastrophizers. That's why you have to keep working on the way that you think and not assume that you're the tiniest statistic. Another example, you've been checked out over and over and over again, right? You've gotten all the testing and you went back through and it happened again, but you still think that there's that tiny chance, which technically there is, but you think that you are that smallest statistic of a person that's going to be misdiagnosed. Number 15, you visualize and imagine your funeral on a daily basis. Whenever we get into one of our deeper cycles of like, oh my God, I think I have this disease or this cancer, and we really convince ourselves consciously and subconsciously that we are going to die from this eventually, we start thinking of our funeral, what music is going to be played, what are people going to say about us, how many people are going to show up, are they going to finally realize I wasn't crazy whenever I was telling them that I had all these chest pains and that there was something wrong, and I don't care if I've been to the doctor, a million times, there's something wrong, maybe then they'll believe me. Number 16, reading articles and news stories can be triggering, especially when they have to do with somebody's health. Somebody had a heart attack. Oh my God, how old were they? That was the first thing I would look for. What was the age? Or we see somebody famous that we think highly of, like, wow, they seemed like they're in great shape and everything. And oh my God, they were only 40 and they got diagnosed with cancer, or such and such died from this suddenly. We start to assume that that's going to happen to us. Guys, you are not going to catch a disease by reading an article. Just because somebody else died of something or caught something, or developed something, that does not sign you up for the same disease. Number 17, TV shows, commercials, movies can be triggering. I couldn't watch Grey's Anatomy anymore, or House, or ER stories, or 911 stuff. I couldn't because it reminded me of the things that I feared, and I would actually develop symptoms while watching those shows, so I just started to avoid them. Certain movies, anybody having a heart condition or somebody having cancer, I'd start to feel those symptoms. It was like sympathy symptoms, right? I'd start to feel what they were going through. And in commercials, a good example of this is whenever I started to have pain and pressure on the right side of my face and under here with my lymph nodes, I saw a commercial about medication for lymphoma, and I was like, aha, that's what it is. So I had a year and a half where I thought I had lymphoma that really started from that commercial. Number 18, hearing stories from people when you're talking or in a conversation or around a group of people about somebody having cancer or somebody dying or somebody having a heart problem, any type of sickness or disease, right, or illness. And you feel triggered, and instead of just sitting there and trying to deal with it or expose yourself to the conversation, you just avoid it. You get out of there. You run out of the room. I did that all the time because one time I was around a coworker and he said his dad had a heart attack and he was in amazing shape, played basketball, was in better shape than him, even though he was like in his early 20s and he had to have like triple bypass. I went to the ER that same day feeling like I was having a heart attack, and it was triggered from me hearing that conversation. And about an hour later, I was in the freaking ER. Number 19, once one symptom goes away, another one pops up. This is because even though you actually were able to lower your fear of a symptom enough for it to go away, you still have root causes, you still have behaviors that haven't been changed, you still have a lifestyle that hasn't been changed, your way of thinking hasn't changed, so you're still going to be in a sensitive state. So you're going to feel things that other people can't feel. So likelihood, whether it's caused by anxiety or not, you're going to have a stomach ache or a headache. And if you still have a problem with overreacting and focusing, you're going to go right back into another symptom cycle. Number 20, guys, you have a superpower called hypersensitivity. From day one, and some of you have been dealing with this for years like I did, you have practiced listening to your body, listening to what's going on inside of you. You have developed this crazy power of feeling anything and everything going on, whether it's a palpitation, food moving through your digestive system, a spasm in your head, anything, any ache or pain. We could argue that your pain threshold goes down because now you feel things at a magnified level. You are feeling things that this person over here that doesn't have anxiety cannot feel. If you made it this far in the video, I want you to do me a big favor. Go down below in the comment section and in all caps, I want you to put health anxiety is real. Health anxiety is real. Guys, I beat this. You can too. It takes a lot. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. You got to change your behaviors. You got to make a lifestyle change. You got to change the way that you think. You got to have a new routine, a new perspective on death, dying, and disease to get past this. But it's possible. If I did it, you can. If you want my blueprint, my step-by-step process on how I was able to overcome the panic attacks, the crippling symptoms, the fear of death, dying, and disease, check out my course, Elite Anxiety Bootcamp. It's going to help you out with that. So many people are moving towards recovery. A lot of people have recovered from taking this course, so check that out. It's in the description and in the first pinned comment. Very affordable, tons of reviews. Check out my community tab or my Instagram for those. If you want me to personally help guide you out of health anxiety, I do offer one-on-one coaching. My email for that is down below in the description in the first pinned comment. You can send me an email and I'll send you all my coaching information and we can jump on a call very, very soon. Please like this video. Please share this with somebody if you suspect that they deal with health anxiety. This can help them feel less alone. Subscribe, be a part of the family. Tons of videos like this. I'm going to put a video up here. Check that out. But I love you guys. And until next time, keep fighting.